This is a reading video for Railgun S, a certain scientific Railgun S, episode 11, 12, and 13, 3-episode reaction. Click in the link description below to go watch my reaction, and then come back here to see my full thoughts, ideas, and theories about these episodes and what's to come next, and all that kind of stuff. What might theorize what might come next, all that good stuff. Click away now, or be spoiled as to what happened in these episodes. Okay. So, we have a lot of Toma in these episodes, which is really good. I can definitely see the crossover start to happen from here on out, because like there was a moment where Toma asked the sister, like, do you remember, his apartment or whatever like that. So I'm assuming when we watch Railgun, we'll see an episode where sister comes in and like talks with them or whatever. So that's pretty interesting. But not only that, but also Toma knows about the experiments now, and he's assuming he's going to try to help out and everything. So that's exciting. I don't know. For right now, my big gripe with Index was Toma. I loved past Toma before he lost his memories. Like it was a really cool character. But when he lost his memories, he seemed very bland and like all that kind of stuff. I mean, I know memory loss does that to somebody because like they don't remember if they are, but it was just like it was annoying, just to like have like this all of a sudden new character reimagined in a way. So I was kind of iffy on him or whatever, but he's starting to like a little bit grow on me. But I'm still kind of iffy on his thing. But who knows? I don't know. Anyways, it's interesting that he actually got to talk to the sisters. That was a big thing. The sisters actually all came and talked to him about the whole thing. Obviously, not saying too much about the experiment, but confirming to him that the experiments exist. So that's one thing. And then explaining that like there's multiple sisters, kind of thing. See, you would think if it was super top secret, they would hide themselves. Or not tell him that they were clones. Like if there's like that top secret, right? Like they wouldn't say that. But I guess whatever. Anyways, it was really cool to see some backstory with Accelerator as well. This the first time he was indoctrinated into the experiment, and his first experiment with one of the Misikas. All of that. That was really, really cool. It was also super interesting to see one of the sisters actually feel like something in her heart, like she had heart pains in a way because she upset the original Misaka. So that was interesting. So she's starting to feel a little bit, kind of thing, like what she did, hurt her in her, like she's like oh, I feel bad, kind of like heart pains or whatever, because like even the doctors are like, yeah, we don't see anything wrong with you should be fine. So it was like emotional feelings like that, so that's pretty cool. So maybe in the future we might get an emotional sister, which that'd be cool. Or all of them will be emotional because like, yeah, once one does something, all the rest know about it. So if one gets emotional, all of them get emotional, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm super pumped to see what happens next. I think from what Crow said, next batch. Let me see like word for word what he said, because let's see. He said next set is going to be the last for Railgun. So next week, it's going to be the last for Railgun. It's like episode 14, whatever. Like I don't know the number he's going to stop at, so who knows. But yeah, we're going to watch the next set, the last with Railgun, jump back over to Index, and then I don't know how long until we jump back over to Railgun again. But he's got the plan, don't worry, he's on it. So I'm pumped to see what happens next for Railgun, definitely. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Even oops, that's wrong thing. I was trying to pull up my character sheet. Even Kuroko, she was interested in why she's acting all weird and everything, and then seeing her happy again telling the girls and everything, and they're all speculating, oh, maybe it's a guy, and she's like, no, she can't be, kind of thing. And then she teleports away, finds Toma and her together, um, freaking out over that, and then trying to pit them against each other so that way she can get her back or whatever like that. And then in the dorm room, which was really funny, when she was like questioning her, like uh, something like Tomo did something wrong or something like that. He's like, I will do it. I will end up. Her hair starts going up like all crazy. Like that was really funny. Um, so I hope Kuroko figures out that something's going on with Mizuka beyond just Toma. I hope she figures out that something's big's going on, like the little hints, or even the map. Like remember the map and the bear? Like if Kuroko finds that, like she'll know then, because the map was all of the institutes that were destroyed, and Kuroko knows of that incident, or those incidents. So if she finds that map inside her bear and everything, she can put the pieces together like immediately right there, right then and there. And then the whole questioning about if I did something to change the whole fabric of the whole city, like what would you do? And Kuroko said that she'll fight her basically. So it's gonna be interesting to see what does happen, and the whole satellite being destroyed as well. The brain. I'm wondering if that happened in Index, with the whole light awakening, whatever you want to call it, of Index, when her inner robotness or whatever, during Index, when she exploded, the roof opened the ceiling and made Toma lose his memory. I'm wondering if that incident blew up the satellite, because I feel like there was something like that. Like someone mentioned something like that, about some kind of event, happening. Something like that. Like I'm not sure. I can't remember where I remember that from. That might be in Index. I think Index talked about a satellite or something like that. So yeah, it's been a little while since we've seen Index. So I'm reaching in my memory to try to remember the actual episodes of Index that I've seen. Because like after that incident, there was like news broadcasts or whatever, like a bunch of things, and then I think Railgun talked about the holes in the roof. Yeah. And then we saw multiple incidents or multiple scenarios where Index was in Railgun, with Toma. Like two or three bits where Index was actually crossed over whatever to Index or Railgun. Sorry. So yeah, I feel like there was something said about some kind of satellite in Index when the event happened. Um, so I think that's probably what happened was the event blew open the hole, kept going, upward kind of thing, and tore the satellite apart. So it's been destroyed for a while. It looks like because the whole dust on the consoles and everything like that. So that's pretty hardcore. I'm wondering what's going to happen to the city now that the satellite's gone, because it can't print the forecast anymore. Because they usually did it in a one big batch. It would predict the weather, and then show all the information into the blimps or whatever that out like told everyone what the weather would be like for the next however many weeks, months, whatever. Like I would think it'd be the whole computer thinks about it and bam, all right, here's a month's work of predictions, whatever for the weather. Because the blimp was saying the last forecast, from the computer or whatever. So that's pretty interesting. So I'm wondering what's going to happen to the city now. I mean, obviously, I don't see too much really happening because the computer really, publicly, the computer did the weather. Unofficially, they did experiments or other experiments helped or used the computer for knowledge or whatever, or calculations or whatever like that. So publicly, I don't think anything will happen other than the weather might be off, whatever. The weather might be a little weird here and there because they can't predict it as well. But I mean, I'm sure they could, but they need a new computer, a new supercomputer to do it. So maybe they could do that. But all the experiments that needed the calculations, we might see some experiments go wrong all of a sudden. Maybe a lot of experiments go wrong. Might see a lot of that. Stuff like that. Like I would definitely see happening in the city now that we know confirmed that the satellite's destroyed. Like I probably see some more stuff like random explosion and whatever some district caused by malfunction or whatever like miscoding or something like that, like some kind of calculation based thing that they needed the supercomputer to do. They did themselves and instead blew up or something like that. But also um, having Mikasa just go through and just annihilate all these like labs and everything solo, with people in them. Like all the people saw her do it. So because before I think she did it in the dark when no one was around, but this time around she's like I don't care anymore. She just busts through the door, lightning up everything, destroying all the robots and just like blowing open holes in the walls and like all that kind of stuff. Like damn. Um, so we're probably gonna see a weird side of her for right now because it seems like she's going a bit crazy. Um, but I think seeing the one Misaka get killed maybe brought more perspective, like snapped her out of it, kind of a thing, but not like fully. Like I think she still has that drive to see the company go down, but I think the immediate reaction that she had in her mind that like nothing can be done about it. I think that mindset might have been snapped out of kind of thing, and she can think clearly again. Hopefully, once she gets over this, because she witnessed one of them die on camera. Because that's one thing she's never done before. She's never actually witnessed one of them die. She always arrived, or she did arrive after the death of one of the clones, the sisters, when the train dropped on her, kind of thing. She saw the leg, hanging out or whatever, or the leg on the ground, and then like a bunch of blood come out from the train. So she didn't actually see it happen, but like she was there. She witnessed like the aftermath of it, and then. I mean, maybe some recordings. Maybe I would think that maybe she could do something. I don't know. Ultimately, she witnessed one get killed on live camera. So that's gonna affect her pretty hardcore. And like I said, I hope Kuroko figures it out and gets in touch with her, and then they both figure out a plan to take him down, kind of thing. I hope all the girls, not only Kuroko, but like Uriharu and Satin and others that help her out. That's definitely one thing that they need to do. Because right now she's solo, and it's not the best idea. Because like the company can just keep making labs. They can keep like moving products, that kind of thing from one place to another. They can make new products. They can keep going. And even the guy who was running the place, whatever that, he was saying how like if any of them are destroyed, it just makes them more money because there's less and less and less and less and less. So yeah. Also, we're about like midway through in terms of the Misaka's level 6 experiment. We're past the 10K kind of thing. So, well 10K like 4 or something, I think like that. 10.4. So we're past the midway point. So he's been doing a lot of work. Because I can't remember. I think the last time we met up with the clones, the sisters, they were on 9,000, or was it 8,000? I can't remember if it was 8,000 or 9,000. I feel like it might have been 7,000. I can't remember. I'm trying to think back on like the first sister that we saw and what her number was, but I can't remember. I think it was 8. I feel strongly about 8, but like I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, regardless, it's been heck of a long time. Well, not a long time for them, but like a lot of work on the accelerator's point to get this far. All these clones being killed and everything. And even I was expecting the first kill, like the first time he went through like number 1, basically. I expected him to feel different about the experiment when he first did it, but he seemed pretty like nonchalant about it. He was like, "Oh well, let's go get food," or whatever. or well, no, the food thing was after the present time experiment. But like what I mean is like the whole thing about him, like he's like, what do you mean, like kind of thing, like what do you mean, what do you want me to do? And then she picks up a gun, shoots, hits, ricochets right back, and well, not her head, but like her, hits her, um, and then he's like, so that's what you want me to do, and then he walks off. Like I would have expected him to be like, like why did you make me do that? Kind of like freak out a little bit, and then like over time kind of grew into it. But like I guess it's his character that he wants to be growing more powerful, and all the talk about them being dolls and like wind up toys and that kind of thing, like that it probably conditioned him to think differently than actual humans. And in the long run, they are just clones, but still, they have a soul. Like they're alive, to some extent, anyways, and they're growing and growing and growing the more time you kill them. So I don't know. Also, this goes back to my theory about Misaka being the prime suspect, or the prime target for the level 6 experiment, because like the more she gets angry, right, the more she lashes out at the company and like goes above like her power kind of thing, just to kind of fight back against him kind of thing. So I'm wondering if there's two possibilities. So I think I said this in my theory as well last time I talked about this, but one, she's the real target for the experiment, not Accelerator. Accelerator is almost like her last step. Like once Misaka fights Accelerator and defeats him, that's when she truly becomes level 6 kind of thing. Or the second road, or what we call it, the second idea, is that Accelerator is the target for the experiment, like they always say. But Misaka ends up being level 6 before he does, kind of thing, because she's going out and lashing out and like attacking the company. That she gains way more power because she's trying to stop like them killing the sisters and everything, and he's just kind of sitting there, just like, all right, kill her, kill her, kill her, whatever. Like it's very nonchalant for him, not really like taxing his system at all. But for her, she's going all out, like not eating, not sleeping, like that kind of stuff, like to fight the company. So I have a possibility that might be the outcome, is like she becomes level 6 before he does, because she's fighting more. So who knows? She can be like the anomaly that the computer could not predict, kind of stuff. So, anyways, I think it's pretty cool to see all this go down, and having Toma there is interesting. I could definitely see a lot of stuff happening with him, and I want to do. I also want to see. I mean, we'll get to it obviously, but I want to see what happens in Index at this current time in their time, to see if this affects him in this show, kind of thing, and all kinds of stuff. Also, I want to know if magic seeps into Railgun at any time. Because I know at the beginning of Index, they were talking about, I mean, the first episode we saw Misaka, like, and Toma going at it, kind of thing, and then like later on, whatever. So they kind of seep into each other, but I'm interested to see if the scientific standpoint, if stuff seeps into Index and vice versa. I wonder if Index's magic comes into Railgun, kind of thing. We'll have to wait and find out. I know they reference each other, but like full on, like a magic user pops up in Railgun and does stuff, or a more bigger epic science event, whatever, experiment, that kind of thing, pops into Index and they have to stop it, or whatever, or prevent it, or whatever. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, thanks so much for watching. Tune in next week for, I think, the final Railgun episode, and then we switch back over to Index. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week for some more Railgun. Take care, buddy.